Okay, the first thing we're going to do, this is on plate 10, and this is number 3, and so we're going to start with this drawing here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we draw a vertical line that's up and down 1.4. So let's go to home, let's go and draw a vertical line, make sure we keep it straight, 1.4. And there's our line. Okay. Now we're going to look at it again, and it says from the bottom point draw lines up at 45 and 135. Well, unless you know how to do the degrees really well and you're a great mathematician, we're going to use a little trick. We're going to do O snap. We're going to use polar tracking, and we are going to do new, and we're going to add 45, and we're going to add 135. And we're going to tell it OK. So then we're going to go ahead and draw our lines like it says. We're going to come up here and say, well, what does it say? 135. We can see it clear and plain right there. And now let's do the next one. And when the green line shows up, we know that it'll be 45. Okay. Now we're going to look at the next one, and it says from the top point draw lines at 240 and 300. Once again, we're going to go to O snap. We're going to do polar tracking again. We'll simply delete these, and so we will do new, and we will tell it 240 and 300. Now we will draw our line. It says to draw the line from here down to 240, and we can see that it says 240 on there. Okay. The green line's telling us it's at 240. Now we can come over here and let's grab this one, and the line says it's at 300. Okay. Now we can zoom in and we can do some housekeeping by doing trim. Trim this line. Trim this line, this one, and this one. Now let's look at our drawing. And our drawing over here says use the bottom endpoint of the vertical line for the center for polar array. But before we do that, let's look at our drawing really carefully. We see that it has 0.20 right in this area here. Okay, so now let's go back to our drawing and let's do an offset. Okay, and we're going to do 0.20, and we're going to click this line here and this line here. Okay, let's do some housekeeping, and let's go ahead and trim, make it look pretty. Okay, we can also trim this line if we want to, so it looks nice. Now let's go ahead and do extend, where we can extend these lines. Okay, now we've got part of our triangle right there. We have this top part right here. Okay, so do we need this bottom part right here? No. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more housekeeping. Let's delete this and let's delete that. Now it wants us to do a polar array. It says, okay, use the vertical endpoint here, okay, points, and then do the center for the polar array right here. So let's look at that. Let's go to array. Let's do polar. Let's select this one, hit enter. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to select this endpoint. If it does not show up your little square, you can type END and it will show you your endpoint. And now wow, this looks great. But we only have 6. So what we're going to do is come up here to this area and we're going to type 8. And once we do that, we will see that our design starts to come into play. So they do look alike. The only thing we have to do now is the break. we have to break some lines. There's no line going through here or going through here. Same with here. There should be no line going through here. So now in order to break this, this whole thing has now become what is called a block. Anytime you do an array, all the array items are attached together. When you edit one, you edit all of them. So in order to stop that, we have to explode this drawing. So now each line itself becomes independent. So then you can come in and you could break it from here, this intersection, to this intersection, and so on. Okay? And you can delete that. It's a trash line. All right? So wrap it up by doing the break. And then don't forget, you're going to have to do some annotation from here to here. Pull it up. Are we correct? Yes, we are. And then you annotate the rest. Remember, when doing the degrees, you have to have a straight line, horizontal or vertical, to do a degree from. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to draw a horizontal line starting here out to here if you're going to do your degree measurements. And we look at this and say, well, it's angular, so we do this one and this one. And then we pull it in and we see that it says 60, just like the drawing does. Okay?